It began as an idea, scribbled in chalk, whispered in smoke-filled rooms. Machines flickered to life, seeing patterns where none were clear. A screen answered back, clumsy, but unforgettable. We trapped knowledge in rules, strong, until the glass began to crack. Then came learning. Systems adjusting, improving, almost breathing. The world watched as a human champion fell to relentless logic. Outside, robots stumbled into dust, glare, and chaos, and adapted. Eyes opened. Suddenly, machines could see the world as we do. Language transformed. Context unlocked. Meaning sharpened. Creation followed, words, art, music, entire worlds from nothing. Quietly, invisibly, intelligence spread into every corner of life. And now, the beginning of something greater. We built the tools. Now, they build with us. In the summer of 1956, a small seminar room filled with chalk dust and quiet ambition gave a name to a daring idea: artificial intelligence. It did not begin as a prophecy, but as a plan: notes on a board, coffee cooling beside stacks of papers, a circle of minds brave enough to ask whether machines could learn. The air was ordinary, the question was not. A single word, intelligence, stepped off the blackboard and into the future. The first machines did not think in any human sense. They detected patterns the way a lens gathers light, mechanically, imperfectly, but reliably. Early perceptrons hummed on lab benches, all wires and dials and blinking bulbs, translating faint signals into simple decisions. Each experiment felt like tapping on the door of a locked room and hearing, for the first time, a tap in return. Language crept in like a distant station clearing through static. Screens glowed green, operators leaned close to read shy lines of text. The conversations were brittle, the illusions easy to break, yet they changed the rhythm of our curiosity. A machine might not understand us, but we could ask, and sometimes it answered. That possibility proved impossible to forget. Then came the age of rules. Expert systems tried to bottle human judgment in clean, crisp logic: if this, then that. In narrow corridors, diagnosing a strain of infection, configuring a complex machine, they walked with impressive confidence. But the world is not a corridor. A single missing rule could fracture the whole glass bridge. We learned that knowledge captured once is fragile, knowledge learned continuously is resilient. Backpropagation returned like a tide reshaping the shoreline. Instead of carving intelligence by hand, we trained it. Errors flowed backward, connections adjusted, systems improved through experience. The theory felt modest, almost humble. The results were not. We moved from instructing machines to coaching them, from writing behavior to shaping the conditions where behavior could be discovered. A chessboard under bright television lights pressed the point. In 1997, a computer defeated the world champion. The headline was simple, the meaning was layered. Strategy, search, evaluation, executed at a scale and steadiness no human could maintain, won the day. It was not the end of human mastery, it was the beginning of a new partnership, where we would increasingly ask machines to map terrains too vast for our attention alone. The 2000s took that partnership outside. Robots met dust, glare, curbs, and cones, the friction of reality that no lab can fully simulate. Sensors whispered truths about the road, algorithms stitched those truths into maps. Progress was uneven, then undeniable. Inch by inch, the machines stopped assuming the world was tidy and started dealing with it as it is. Vision changed everything. With oceans of labeled images and deeper networks hungry for structure, machines learned to see cats and crosswalks, tumors and traffic lights, patterns of shadow and color that signal meaning. The secret was scale, of data, of compute, of shared ideas accelerating across the globe. Accuracy curves bent upward. A decade later, it is hard to imagine our cameras, clinics, and cities without this quiet perception. Then, a sharper turn: attention. We taught models to consider context all at once, each word weighed against every other. Ambiguity softened, nuance sharpened. Translation became more faithful, summaries more coherent. The architecture felt inevitable in hindsight, like a melody we had been humming without knowing its name. Transformers did not just improve language models, they reframed how we connect information across time and space. Generative systems stepped over the threshold from recognition to creation. We described a scene, they drafted paragraphs, sketched images, and composed melodies. The fear that machines might replace imagination never matched the reality in the room. In practice, they amplified it, extending our first idea into 10 variants, revealing a pattern we missed, turning a blank page into a living place to begin. The creative process widened to include a partner that learns at the speed of iteration. Meanwhile, AI dissolved into daily life. Not center stage, backstage. Cameras focused faster. Warehouses moved smarter. Fraud detectors watched quietly, recommendation engines guessed gently, translation caught us when our words fell short. Intelligence became infrastructure, present, practical, and largely invisible, like electricity. We noticed it most when it failed, precisely because we had come to rely on it. And now, 2025. The monitor's glow lifts in your eyes, the cursor blinks like a heartbeat. You draft a question, a model drafts a plan. You describe an outcome, a system sketches the steps and then takes the first one with you. We have crossed from, what can machines do, into, what should we build together? That second question is harder, and more important. Because every dataset is a story about the world as it was, and every model is a choice about the world we want. Data can include bias or balance, wounds or wisdom. Access can widen opportunity or wall it off. Safety can be an afterthought or a design principle. The tools are powerful, the direction is ours. Intelligence must mean more than clever outputs. It must mean clearer values, reflected in what we empower and what we constrain. So we return, in spirit, to that chalk-dusted room. We honor the rules that cracked and the networks that learned, the games that fell and the cameras that finally saw. We remember that progress is not a race to outrun each other, but a craft to outgrow our own limitations. The point is not to hand the future to machines, but to invite them into the workshop, on terms we define, toward goals we choose, with guardrails we refuse to ignore. If we stay thoughtful, brave, and precise, the most remarkable thing AI will produce is not a new kind of mind. It is a new way for our own minds to work, more curious, more careful, and more capable of shaping a world worthy of the intelligence we are building. Today is not an endpoint. It is an on-ramp. And from here, the road is wide open.
Bye everyone, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.